It's legendary.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the show. Look who's here today.
Hi, I'm here. Well, you can hear me and you can see me over here.
Live and in person, Peter Dichter on Your City, Your Voice today. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We're broadcasting live from the studios of 4680Q Radio, downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, is where we are.
Somebody's taking my car. Somebody's taking my Model A.
There's the Model A. There's a Model A out there that was sitting gorgeous out there, which is pretty cool, man, with green wheels.
Yeah, lime green.
Lime green wheels. Pretty cool car. I took a picture of it.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
I hit the back of it to see if the spring bumper still works.
Well, and I'm glad you tested that 0 mile an hour bumper they had in 1929 That's or whenever that car came out. But what a nice car. And it was flat black, so it almost like had a patina on it.
Yeah.
Or something. It was pretty cool. Pretty cool car. Anyway, here we are, and the reason Peter Dichter is here, well, one of the reasons he's here, because it's just so good to sit and talk about different things with Peter Dichter, is that next week I'm celebrating show number 600.
Yes.
Now, Peter's been here for 100.
I think I've been here for
200.
I think I've been here for 100.
Yeah, two 100s.
Yeah.
3 100s.
Yeah.
Every 100, Peter's been in the show so far since we started this, in the new version of Your City, Your Voice 3 years ago. Oh, just over 3 years ago. It started at the first week of September. As soon as we got by the Labor Day, I started planning to get all the candidates for the election in 2022 in the studio, and I did.
Yeah.
Except the ones that didn't want to come in, like Mona Patel and Tony Baldinelli. They were invited. Everybody was invited. 99.9% of them came in. Some did. But that's where this all started. And then it was 100.
Yes. It's going fast.
It was 200. It was 300, 400, 500.
And he'd call me up and say, by the way, it's show 500. I go, what?
Yeah.
Show 500.
It's crazy. How time flies.
Yeah.
Shows roll by.
Again, I got to give you congratulations. You so improved from when you started to now.
Well, yeah.
And you've done a great job. And again, I'm going to tell you, folks, appreciate what you're getting from this guy. Honesty, truth, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to do an hour show every single day, and a talk show at that.
Yeah, and the big thing is when I first started, it was like, sit down behind this board, you push this button, push that button. Now, we don't have directors, we don't have engineers, we don't have producers. Everything you see here is run by the guy sitting in this chair, right? And so it's not like you just walk in, sit down, and start talking. Everything's got to be set up. The camera's got to be set up for the video. The microphones have to be set up. Everything's got to be set up. And so you get in here, it's a bit overwhelming, and thank gosh.
And then you got to talk after that.
Then you got to talk.
Making some sense.
And then thank God that Peter Dichter had a show, the Pete and Reed Show, way back when.
Yeah. And
he was there to help me get through the nuances of having a show, because it's one thing to sit down and talk about crazy stuff like I do, but it's another thing to have a start and an end and how you're going to get out of stuff. And if you have a guest that gets a little bit out of what you want to talk about, how to pull them back in. There's a lot of that, and a lot of that stuff I learned from Mr. Peter Dichter from the Pete and Reed Show. And I thank you for that.
Well, it was my pleasure, because you know what? You were a guy. So many people wanted to come in when the station first started, right? I want to do a show. I want to do a show. And first thing I said to you is, you're a guy that wants to hang in there. You want to learn. I could see it. It was like me. I could see myself, like 40 years ago. I want to be in radio, right? The other people, I want to be a star. And I didn't realize the work. I said, they're going to disappear. But I told you, all you got to do is find the beginning, the end, play with the middle. You can play with the middle all the time. And always, 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 you should do this in life anyways. Listen to what people are saying to you so you can respond intelligently. But on top of that, sometimes people go in with, like, I've seen it, right? 40 questions. They ask question number 1, question number 2, question number 3, and they're not listening to their guest. And all of a sudden they ask the question that was just answered 2 questions ago.
Yeah.
Like, didn't I just say that?
But it's
a hard thing to do.
What's funny is that as you go through and you get used to it more, it becomes so much of it's a habit almost.
Yeah.
Like if you don't come to the studio one day, you just feel like there's you feel lost. It's like you should be here every day. But I think if I look back at the shows, out of 600 shows, there's been a couple of funny moments, but the best probably, and you know what I'm going to say, because this had to be the best.
It was the ultimate.
I've had a lot of people in here, and especially when you deal with politicians, it's really wacky because they make all kinds of promises, especially new candidates, and they have no clue what they're talking about. It's very hard to hold yourself back. But the funniest one was when Ray Lyle was in here.
It was the best. Ray Lyle in the Storm, famous rock star from the 90s.
Yep.
And you were set for him. You did your research. You went on AI and you got it. Chat GPT, whatever you need to go. You were there.
I was there.
He came in with a binder. I know you can't hear me, see this on radio. Probably about 2 inches thick.
About Ray Lyle.
Yeah.
And so the first.
How'd that go?
Yeah, it was great until I got to some questions. And the first one was, so Ray, I hear you go to Mexico and you save the turtles. You're a big. And he goes, I've never been to Mexico.
My jaw dropped. He's like, what?
And I've never met Ray Lyle before. I know him now. I've talked to him many, many times, right? But I never met Ray Lyle. He's good friends with Peter, of course, right? But so he's looking at me going, like, where'd you get this out? And I said, well, what about the performance you did, the private performance for the Queen? And he goes, I had never even seen the Queen. I don't know. And so,
nor do I want to.
So we went down this with about a couple more questions. And he finally said to me, give me that sheet. I want to see what you got down there. And there was a bunch of stuff that he did, right? And he says, you know what? I wish I was the person that you got down on this sheet because I've done none of this stuff.
You know, he might have Alzheimer's, early onset of Alzheimer's. I mean, that might be it.
I think that AI, artificial intelligence, isn't that intelligent.
No, I think it's a pretty controlled entity.
But it did make him pretty much a big shot in the world.
Yeah, I see. Me, I would have just went with the flow. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Well, it's an ongoing joke now, right? I see. How's the turtles? Ray, how's the turtles?
And I remember going back to when we had the Pete and Reed show on the station in the morning. And I remember when you were covering for Reed.
Oh, yeah. That blew my mind.
That's when you got your lesson in radio.
That's when I got my lesson in radio. These guys used to do like a 3-hour show. And Reed, like, together, they were fantastic. And so he says, if you want to sit in for Reed, because she couldn't make it a couple times, you're welcome. And I go, okay, yeah, I'd love to do that to get some more experience. And so he comes in and we're sitting there and I'm figuring it's going to be just a show. He goes, okay, so what's up with the weather, Paul? And I go, I don't know. I got to look out the window here. Because Reed used to do like a full weather thing like you'd see on CHCH or something.
Yeah.
And then he goes, so what's new in entertainment news? And I goes, I have no idea. Right?
And I told him to be prepared.
Yeah. And I was prepared for stuff, but not that stuff. So it was pretty funny. We were sitting there and we're discussing different things, right? And I'm going, I had never even heard of that guy, right? The pop culture and stuff. So it's a lot of work. And I remember Reed used to go in there. She didn't like doing it at night.
No.
The research. She'd go in at 4 a.m. and sit there for a couple hours and get ready for the show, right?
Yeah.
A lot of work, a lot more the way they do it with a real, show that has weather, music, and everything else, rather than sitting here for an hour and talking. I mean, sitting here for an hour and talking is one thing, but doing a show like that where you have to be so much into the news and pop culture and
local stuff that's going on, local people, politicians, and it has to be at your fingertips. And for me, I was opposite of Reed. I always had to do it the night before, because if I did it the night before, I'd come in with sheets, but I never had to use them. It would just lock into my brain. And it was a guy doing talk radio who told me that. And his name was John Michael. Remember John Michael?
Yes, he was John Michael.
Absolutely one of the best, one of the pioneers in the talk show radio industry and even on television. And him and I didn't get along when we first worked together at CJRN, but then we became really good friends. And, there's something that's lost in these generations behind us is listen to your elders, listen to the people who are doing things, listen to the people who have the experience, watch them, pay attention closely, and don't go, I already knew that. I went to school and no, you don't. And when you learn from experience, you can take that and you add it to your repertoire, and then you inject yourself into it. And that's what broadcasting is. And that's what you've done. You've injected yourself into what you're doing. And that's key to become who you are, to be a personality, not just a robot, not just somebody who sits there and goes, yeah. And the politicians did this. No, you do the research, you understand it. And then you speak comfortably about what you believe, about things that are going on. And that's the key, to just become yourself. And I remember it was John. It was also Rick Jenneret. Remember Rick?
Yep, Rick Jenneret.
Just said, look, you'll know it when you become yourself. You're going to just feel this like freedom. And it was like skating. I never want to forget when I was trying out for a hockey team, and it was Bantam hockey, and I was skating, and I had worked so hard at skating, but I never felt free. And all of a sudden, one day, I just let loose. I made the team that day, and I could feel my jersey fluttering. And I went, I've made it. Well, the same thing happened in radio. All of a sudden, it was like, you're not talking to millions of people. I'm just talking to my buddy across the other side of the microphone. Same as camera, right? And then all of a sudden you arrive and you feel comfortable, and you're there. You're more than there.
Yeah, and I learned from a lot of from you guys, but I also learned from watching really good broadcasters on YouTube.
Yeah.
And how they plan their show, how they work their show, what they say, how they do it, and that kind of thing. So, you always got to learn, right? You're always learning.
And I have to say that I was blessed to have a co-host like Rita.
Yes.
It was chemistry, and that chemistry in TV and radio doesn't come around a lot. You'll see people, you'll watch them on TV, and you'll know they're struggling. Even on the big shows, you see it, but there's a struggle. You're watching the big AM shows on the big networks and stuff like that. You can see it. But with her, we could just pick up each other's spots and run with it. And somebody said, hey, can you guys talk for an hour? We talked for an hour. Hey, can you guys pick this up and redo what you just did? Yeah, we could. So yeah. I was so blessed. Miss her so much. I really, really do. And every now and then, Pete and Reet will pop up on my Facebook, and I look at it and go, I can't believe she's gone. Really can't. So she had a lot of respect for you too.
Yeah, I loved her. She was just a great person. And they had 1,000 musicians. She got up there and sang, and Rose Cora Perry was singing, and we did interviews with you guys at the arena Center there, and we had a good time with all that. And Reet was a big part of the big one at Fireman's Park, the very first one, and we had a great time, all of us.
Super, super talented lady.
Yep,
really
super talented,
but always came off just naturally her.
Yeah,
and that's who
always.
She was. Yeah.
She was who she was.
Yeah,
there's no airs.
Yeah.
No pretense. Just here I am, and she was. People loved her. I don't know anybody who could say anything bad about Reet.
I don't know. Yeah. Nobody. Absolutely. If you were, you're a demon.
Okay, so we're going to get on with the show here. And 600, I'm excited about it. I think it's a big number. 1,000 will be even bigger, God willing. I will be here.
I will be here too if I'm here.
Yep. We're here. But just to let you know that if you have a text that you want to send commenting on the show, I do have a phone now you can text.
Great.
Right? I got it right here. And if you text, it'll come up. 289-994-7560. That's the number that you text. 289-994-7560. So if you have something you want to say, text it. It'll pop up on my phone here, and it'll be gone. You know who gave Gary Wilkins had a phone hanging around?
That's right. Yeah, he was mentioning that one day.
Gave it to me, and God bless Gary Wilkins, good guy. And I got a SIM card for it, so now I'm all set to go with the phone.
Give that number one more time, because here's what happens. If you're like me, I get the first 3 numbers, then I get the second 3 numbers, and then they don't say it again.
I'll give it to you Peter Dichter style.
Yes.
289-994-7560.
All right. You can text it anytime during the show.
Just text it during the show. It'll pop up here, and I'll mention the text, and we'll talk about it if you have a comment on anything that we're talking about. Now, before we get into the show, though, I have to talk about my sponsors.
Yes.
Yeah, somebody's got to pay the way here.
That's right.
So we thank our sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, and Hamel Machine Company. And, when we look at this weather, Peter, it was 38 this morning when I got up at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, I know.
I was up at 4 o'clock. And you look out there and you go, oh, well, it's getting warmer out today. It's not a bad day, cloudy and that. But you know what? We know what's coming here. There's going to be cold and frost and eventually snow. So you do not want to be running around getting your car checked out when you have bad weather. It's miserable. You know, that cold November rain. Your car breaks down. You're standing out there like a chomoke. No, don't do that. Call Ken Hunter at Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. Get your car in there. He'll check out everything: your defrosters, your heater, your brakes, your everything, to make sure all systems are go, so you don't have that breakdown in the winter that you just hate. You know, you just hate it. And if you get in a wreck, he's got a full body shop. He'll send your car back to you in showroom condition. That's the way they work down there. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. WildBillsAuto.ca is where you go to see what they have to offer, all their services. And they're located on Oakwood Drive next to the Kia dealership. Now, while you're at WildBillsAuto.ca checking it out, don't forget to flip over to YouTube. Check out Paul Lemire, my channel, my podcast, or Your City, Your Voice, and subscribe to the channel. Come on, we have 181 subscribers.
Good. So it's starting to move. Excellent.
Yeah, and I know that probably 50-60% haven't subscribed, even though they do watch at the odd time. So just subscribe. It costs nothing. It costs nothing. It helps the algorithm. It helps us get the show out to more people. Thumbs up. Leave comments. We talk about them. I mean, come on, get involved. We have an election coming up in a year, and you don't want 27% of the people in Niagara Falls to decide what to do with your money. You want to get out there and be involved. That's why we do this show. And I thank Peter for coming in to help me to do that in the show.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Okay, so we'll get to our other sponsors later on in the show. Okay, so first off, Peter, the party never ends for taxpayers.
Yeah.
Like I warned,
Fireworks every day.
the Niagara Regional Police are going to be looking for a big increase in their budget. I thought about $17 million to take them to $230 million, but they've even exceeded my expectations by looking for a 13.6% increase, taking them to $241.3 million, almost $250 million budget. And don't forget, Niagara Falls residents, this is you. This is why you listen to the show. There's another $3.6 million that we take out of casino revenue and give to the police, even though St. Catharines and Niagara Falls were the biggest cities in the region. We pay the lion's share of the $240 million.
I don't think we should have to pay anything for casino.
No, of course
Zero.
not.
Nothing.
They patrol the city. Isn't the casino area part of the city?
Yeah, and it's big money, and they're there because of the casino.
Yeah, so I mean, this is just unsustainable for taxpayers. How can we keep I mean, nobody's got money. I mean, it's almost time for somebody to do an audit and look at farming out our police to the OPP.
Yeah.
You know, and see how much they would charge to patrol all of Niagara Falls and everything else. They do it for other cities. Because we're out of control with the Niagara Regional Police. And I mean, the bottom line is it's coming to the point where we as a region just can't afford them.
No, we can't. And a small population.
Yeah.
In comparison. Like, what are we, 600,000 Niagara region?
I don't even think we're 500,000. I think we're 450 or 60. We're not quite as big as Hamilton.
Yeah, that's insane. That's absolutely insane. And just let's go back to Murray Hill a few weeks ago.
Yeah, there you go. Where were they?
Smoke bombs. Where were they? What do you need the money for? What do you need all this fancy equipment for? What do you need all these fancy clothes for, and vehicles and crime fighting and bombs? And
I made that point. Like, when all that happened, I go, where's the police? We pay an extra $3.6 million for them to be there and throw these terrorists out that are blocking Murray Hill, in this case, blocking Murray Hill, up on the catwalk over top, throwing smoke bombs down on the road. And what really bothered me is the hate speech signs they were holding up. And when they say, from the river to the sea, set Palestine free, well, they're not talking about anything except exterminating the Jews. That's hate speech in anybody's realm, except for here. And the Niagara Regional Police are nowhere to be found.
Nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. Where were the Niagara Regional Police in those crashes of jewelry stores in Grimsby. People are taking video. People are calling the police. These guys are smashing in, walk in, take stuff, walk out. And you see them take off and gone, and you don't hear or see any police.
Yeah, they should have been there, especially in an area where we pay extra to have them there. And I support the police. I really do. I really, really do. But it comes down to dollars and cents. How much can we afford? And I wish that the laws and that were stricter, and that's what we're really pushing for, is because all these criminals that they arrest are out on the street the next day. So it makes their job twice as tough. They got to arrest these guys 10 times to put them in jail and keep them there.
Even if they do keep them there.
Yeah, if we could get them in jail and staying in jail, that would mean our police have less to do. They could really tackle crime. But now it's just these guys are in the turnstile of justice, out the next day, running on the streets, and the cops have to do twice as much work to accomplish fighting crime, which means sometimes they can't get to riots on Murray Hill as fast as they'd want to be, because they're dealing with overdoses on the street and wacky mental people running around and criminals that are out on the streets, and they've been let out again. It's ridiculous.
I think that years ago, police had more of a presence. You always saw them. I saw a car coming through your neighborhood, saw a car coming down Queen Street, saw a car coming down Drummond Road, but you always saw some cars somewhere. I don't see that anymore.
No, and I think what's missing, and this is what I wish they would get back to, is cops on the beat.
Yeah.
Walking the streets that are bad, because at the end of the day, they get to know all the characters hanging around, and they know who the bad guys and good guys are. They just got to wait for a chance to pinch them for what they're doing, right? But on the street, when there's a presence, like you said, there's a police presence on Queen Street. So it's safer when you have a police presence. And that's one thing we don't have anymore. They used to go up and down Queen Street when I was a kid.
There's respect.
My grandmother's house is right there. I watched them.
Really?
And they'd go to the big white house. That's where my grandmother lived. I was down here all the time. And she owned the little gray one beside it. But if you go down, you'd see them going to every one of these back doors of these stores and down the other alley, shaking them to make sure that they were okay, and looking in the front door. They walk by and look at it and make sure nobody's in there, stealing whatever.
And they had a line on the beat. They knew what was going on. They heard what was going on.
Exactly.
And they actually a lot of times just having somebody down there, and you become friends with people. And if they got bad intentions, they'll think, Officer Bill's walking down the street. I'm not going to do it.
No, he knows who I am.
Yeah.
I see him all the time.
And I like him.
There was a lot more respect for the police. You got to admit now, with these indoctrinated people coming out of colleges and universities, they've been taught not to respect police.
Yeah.
And that's why Doug Ford is right now making a big move to put police guarding schools, not just for safety. And I think we need safety, because gangs have been let into this country. They've infiltrated schools, and they're there at schools with knives and guns. They are. That's all there is to it. And with the police there, it'll be a deterrent to them. Also, when they interact with the police, they'll find out that the police aren't their enemies. They're their friends. And they might just have a little bit more respect for the police, because today they have no respect. You see them, ICE agents on the streets in Chicago and these people are throwing bricks at them and fighting with them and everything. There's no respect. Shooting at them. And now the gangs in Chicago put bounties on their heads. Have you heard about that one?
Yeah, I can't believe it. I really can't. And then it's like, well, Trump's trying to take over the whole country, and he's sending in the military.
How can any mayor of Chicago, this Brandon Johnson, or the governor Pritzker, how can they take the side of the criminals and the gangs that have taken over Chicago over a guy who wants to come in and clean them all out?
Yeah.
Does that make any sense to you?
No, I mean, Beetlejuice started it. She started the whole thing rolling.
She started it.
And, I mean, listen to this, folks who hate guns. Guns have been banned in Chicago for years.
Yep.
And it's the worst crime rate ever.
Yeah, more people are getting shot every weekend than anywhere else in America, maybe.
Which only goes to prove one thing: the people who use guns inappropriately are people that haven't been registered with their guns and haven't taken any courses and don't have a license.
They're illegals.
Yes,
they're gangbangers.
So that's what it proves. Because otherwise, the crime rate would go down if what they were telling you was true.
Yeah, and these left-wing guys, they always talk about the Second Amendment. Like the Second Amendment gives you the right to have a gun and go out and shoot people. No, the Second Amendment gives you the right to have a gun to protect yourself.
Correct.
Against criminals and against domestic or foreign terrorists, basically foreign threats. So if somebody's coming on shore and they want to take over your house or something, you have the right to arm and defend yourself. That's called stand your ground in Florida.
Yeah.
And if somebody's threatening you, you have the right, because you can open carry in Florida now with the right permits and everything.
Just a license, actually.
And and you can open carry and you can actually defend yourself against somebody who's threatening you.
And that's why in Naples right now is the safest city in the United States of America.
I believe it.
And you see, if somebody's doing something wrong, it's not one police officer. They are bombarded with 6 or 7 cars surrounding. It's a takedown, right? You can't. It's totally different down there.
Yeah, and people don't monkey around with guys who have a gun on their hip.
Yep.
They're less likely to bother that person. And, it's just the way it is.
And I will say that they do have cops on the beat down there. And I will tell you that any sheriff's department or deputies that I've run into, and there's some that live in our building, they are so nice. They're so respectful. But when their job comes to doing their job, they do it.
Serve
without hesitation. Yeah. That's how they see it. That's how they do it.
So get this. We talked about Niagara Falls a little bit here. Stuff. But
can I ask one question before you get into Niagara Falls?
No, I'm not going to talk about Niagara Falls anymore. That was about it.
Oh, can I talk 1 second? I just want to ask. I want a question.
Yeah.
Who owns the library, the public library downtown?
The public library is owned by. Now, I knew this before. It's funded by the city, but I don't think it's owned by the city. So without the city, it can't operate. It's nothing.
Is it a city building?
Oh man,
pretty sure it is.
You know what? I used to know this stuff, but they come to the city for $5.4 million every year. It seems like, right? And I don't think the city can tell them what to do with the money. They have to have a budget and everything like that.
So would they be responsible for the upkeep of the outside of the building as well?
Yes, they are.
So the people who run
the people who run the library are responsible for the whole thing. It's kind of like Fireman's Park, where the city owns the land, but the Stafford Volunteer Firefighters Association, they own the building, and they lease the land for 99 years or whatever, right? And they run that whole area, but they're funded by the city to do it as well as themselves. I think the library's in that.
Well, the front of the library is an absolute disgrace.
Oh, it is.
There's weeds growing all over the place. It is a disgrace.
I think that's their problem, not the city's.
Okay. Well, then the city should go after them anyways. Remember, wasn't there a day when you didn't cut and trim your property that the city came down and did it and charged you for it?
Yeah, I'm going to have to ask Lori Lococo about that. I talked about this many, many times, but it just slips my mind right now exactly the situation. I know that the city funds them, totally funds them, except for some revenue they get from library cards and that. So the city totally funds them. And a lot of the salary, like 60 or 70% of the money that they get, goes to staff.
Wow.
Lots.
Wow.
I'm in
the wrong business.
Yeah, and I was asking about that only because I thought, geez, that seems high. But then again, you've got a public entity that really doesn't have any revenue other than library cards if they charge for them. And that's
Fines.
really about all the money that they generate. They don't generate a lot of money. So it comes from the city, taxpayers, really.
All right. Yeah, I would like to know that one because I was really appalled when I drove by there the other day. And I drove by it when I first came back from Florida. And middle of August, and I went, wow.
Yeah, I just get a feeling they own the building. I think the library board, but maybe not. They have a board and everything. That's a good question. I wish I could be more specific.
Yeah, check that out. I'd love to know.
Well, check it out. But if it's a mess out front, somebody should fix it up.
It's a disgrace. It's an actual disgrace. I actually said to my wife, last time I drove by the library, it was horrible. We went over to Pete's Pizza. And drove, drove by, and I said, she goes, oh my gosh, that's disgusting. I said, yeah, it is. Speaking
of which,
yes,
that's my second sponsor.
Disgusting?
Pete's Pizza.
Oh, Pete's Pizza. No, that's not disgusting. That's far from it.
Oh,
I'm actually going to have it this weekend.
Yeah, you gotta.
My son's birthday.
There you go. Tray of pizza.
And wings.
Some wings. Yeah,
and probably sneak a chicken parm in there too.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're out in the Northwest now, so you can take advantage of them. Get your pizza out there. You couldn't get it. They have a new location at Thorldstone and Kaler Road for guys out that way. We're down on Victoria Avenue here, and they know how to make a pizza. These guys, they use the Mancini family recipe for their sauce and their crust. They use a combination of Saputo mozzarella and brick cheese for the cheese. And the key is they know how to put the cheese on the pizza with the sauce in the right ratios. So you get a really, really good pizza with a lot of taste, and they cook it just right. The cook's important too, and they do it just right using cornmeal on the bottom and everything. These guys know how to do it. Now their wings, phenomenal wings. This new chicken parm sandwich, spectacular. Steak and cheese poutine, panzerotti. They have a full menu. Open on Friday and Saturday till 2 a.m. for your convenience. Midnight during the week. How can you go wrong? You want a pizza. It's Friday.
Yeah.
Pizza night. Go get a pizza. What's the matter with you? And tell them Paul and Pete from Your City, Your Voice sent you, and The Big Show.
The Big Show with Pete and Ray.
With Pete and Ray. That's Pete's got a show too. He's not just a pretty face on my show.
Yeah, we're on Saga 960 in Toronto.
Yes.
Every Friday at 3. And then they run it several times during the weekend, but Friday at 3 p.m.
Beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful. So tune in.
And we have talked about Pete's Pizza.
Of course.
On our Toronto show, saying, hey, if you're going to Niagara Falls, you want a pizza. The one thing I can tell you about the sauce, you talk about a fine wine, right? These guys are going, and you feel it, and you get the taste, and you get the berries, and it's like that with the Mancini sauce.
Yeah.
There's a taste that comes in that's sweet, and then there's a taste after, and then there's a taste that sits in your mouth after you've got the pizza in there, and it's almost like, it's just hard to describe. It's so good.
It's great pizza. And when you go to Naples, you must be jonesing for a good pizza.
I'm thinking of how I could get it down there, right? Now, the good thing about Pete's Pizza, and this is when you know it's a good pizza, right? The next day, cold, is it still good?
Oh, yeah.
That's the test for
right
pizza
out of the fridge.
So I could take it down there and, have
you probably could.
Yeah.
Then freeze it.
Yeah.
Pick them up before you head over the border. Take it on the plane with you. Cargo.
I'd never get, everybody in the plane would want some pizza. So
yeah, there you go. Can you imagine if you broke that out on the plane? Everybody would be looking at you like, you're going like this, right? So let's get over to Carnage.
Oh.
There's a lot of carnage in this country. But right now, let me tell you about a couple things here. Stellantis, moving out of Brampton, closing the plant down, moving to the United States because Carney can't make a deal with the tariffs. And they've sucked the government of Ontario in for, billions of dollars. These car companies have been doing it for 50 years. Every time they're not making enough money, they go to the government and say they're going to move. They threaten them, use extortion on them, and they pay up the governments here, whether it's federal or provincial. But because Chili Con Carnage cannot make a deal, Stellantis is closing down its Brampton plant, throwing 3,000 people out of work. Meanwhile, they said they're going to spend $13 billion over the next 4 years in the United States. Again, they're going to up their production by 50% there and hire 5,000 more people.
Wow.
Number one. Number two, Lumber Giant shuts down in BC. It's a major blow to Canada. Gorman Brothers, which has been running for 75 years, have shut down production in Kelowna due to tariffs levied by Trump on softwood lumber. With Carnage not able to make a deal, 55% of their business is tied to the U.S., and the tariffs are just killing them. And so they're just closing her down. They're shutting her down if nothing happens with Carnage.
Which it won't.
It won't. No,
it's almost like he's been put in there on purpose to just break it all down.
Yeah. So, well, I've said that before. He was sent here, hired, not elected, hired.
He's a union buster.
To liquidate Canada to the highest bidder. In this case, is buddy China, not Trump, because he hates Trump. They all hate Trump. And this Premier Edsel Ford, the biggest flop in the history of the car industry, Edsel Ford. Edsel. That's what I call him now, Edsel, because he's a big flop. He's continuing his elbows up rhetoric and being a total jerk by spending $75 million taxpayer dollars. Yeah, are you listening to this, Peter?
I'm trying not to. I'm really trying not, because I want to keep my breakfast down.
Yeah, on a wacky anti-American, anti-tariff ad. And this guy knows how to waste money. And you know who's used it in this ad?
Who?
Ronald Reagan. Now, Ronald Reagan was president 45 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? 45 years ago. Do you think the world's changed a little bit since Ronald Reagan has been president?
Yeah, a whole lot.
So why not just quote Franklin Roosevelt?
Washington.
George Washington. I mean, come on. The guy's been... I love Ronald Reagan. I got a picture of him in my office, addressed to me from the White House. He was my favorite president until Trump came along. But the guy said what he said 45 years ago in a totally different time. And this Ford is using what he said about tariffs in an ad. He's spending $75 million, anti-American ad. Now, you want to make a deal with Trump. You know Trump doesn't put up with this crap. And you still use this elbows up anti-American sentiment against them. This guy is a few fries short of a Happy Meal.
I don't think he is. I think he's doing it on purpose. I think he's paid to do it. He went in there and absolutely ransacked Great Britain and England.
No, not Carnage. I'm talking about Ford.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Carnage.
I'm going to talk about him in a minute.
No. So Ford is going to... Oh, my
Yeah, that's Ford. That's all Ford with the advertising.
You know what? I don't know where Ford sits. All I know is he's a buffoon. He's at 100%. When he's going to shut down the power.
Yeah.
I wanted to die.
Where do we find these guys?
I don't. And then listen to this. We're not going to sell any more American booze. Okay? That's great. Sell what you got. Don't stick it in a warehouse and pay all kinds of money to... Who knows? Maybe he owns the buildings like he got to do all the signs during COVID. Maybe that's what it is.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
Never
follow the money.
But that's what he's doing, this clown. And we got the lumber giant. We got Stellantis. Now, here's your Carney. You can get on with Carney here. Carney's company, Brookfield, right?
Yeah.
Just inked a 30-year deal to supply power to the U.S. So this Powell... Just in case Ford
wants to shut it down.
Yeah, this Powell River plant, right? In B.C., they made a deal because he owns it. They made a deal to sell power to the U.S. for 30 years. Now, Powell River's trying to recover and get industry there, but now they have no power to offer the industry, so they got to go to market and pay way more than what they're selling it for. They got to pay way more because now they don't have power for industry because Brookfield,
you remember that
signed a 30-year deal till 2055 to supply power to the U.S.
It's almost as bad as finding out that we were selling power from Niagara here across the states for next to nothing. It was going all the way back to Michigan and coming across at a higher price.
Yeah, and we pay more for our own power. I'm serious, folks. This is just a sample of the crap that's going on in this country and the mass exodus of business. And it's going to get worse and worse. It's going to get worse and worse all the time.
Your country doesn't survive without business, without big corporation. It doesn't. It will not. And, the American corporations, which we probably are 80% American corporations in this country, when they start pulling their legs out of here, don't blame Trump.
No, blame Carney.
Blame the guy who's not making the deal. Blame the moron that was in power, the Katy Perry lover, who was in power before for 10 years. I
never knew that Katy Perry was a transgender.
I know. I didn't either.
She's got to be, else why is Trudeau after her?
Gosh.
Him.
I don't know.
Her.
I thought for a bit there it was after Taylor Swift.
Oh, jeez.
We begged her to come to Canada.
Oh man! Did you see what they're? Yeah, speaking of Taylor Swift, you see what Charlie Kirk's wife in Turning Point America is doing to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, that's fantastic.
They're
I love it.
Have this Bugs Bunny or whatever his name was, right?
Yeah.
And they said, "Hey, we're going to do our own halftime show at during the Super Bowl. So tune in to Turning Point. We're going to have all patriotic Americans playing, and you don't have to watch this Bugs Bunny or whatever his name is." Prancing around in a tutu.
What a marketing coup. How smart is that? That's incredible. I love it.
They're going to have more viewers for that halftime show than the Super Bowl.
You better believe it.
So, I mean, I don't get it. I don't get why this is going on even. What is this woke agenda the NFL has? I just don't understand.
That they won't stop.
They won't stop.
It's already been proven. People have had enough.
They've had enough.
If you voted in Trump massively, that means you've had enough.
You've had enough of DEI and all the special interest groups getting favored status.
Yeah.
Right? So there
all
you
the
go.
Tax money that went into all these little corporations and funding this and funding that was all cycling back and coming back through who knows who to hurt your own country and to tear it apart.
Yeah, so this is this is crazy. This is insane. This is insane. The NFL. I mean, I quit watching probably in the 90s.
The NFL.
Yeah, the National Felon League. 33% of the players were felons.
I think that's changed, but I really believe I watch some of these games and I watch some of these teams, and you see a team that's supposed to like just barrel over somebody and they lose. Or the referees are calling lately they've been doing it for a couple of years, but lately they've been calling some of the worst penalties I have ever seen in my life. It's almost like
it's rigged,
tied into FanDuel or something.
Well, yeah, the betting.
I'm asking the question: is it possible?
Yes.
But something stinks.
Yeah, when they give you a spread, it's really one of the only sports where they give you a spread and a quarterback doesn't have to hurt his team. He can still win, but he can win a lot of money because he doesn't beat the spread.
Yeah, or all you needed was 2 yards from a rushing quarterback who does like 150 yards, and all of a sudden he doesn't do it.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just weird, and I'm telling you, some of the calls were so bad, pass interference. I can't believe what I've seen the last. Well,
you got to start questioning it, right?
Yeah, you do.
That's it. You have to start questioning. Well, I mean, right now in the world, you have to start questioning everything.
I think we've been doing it a long time. I don't know how you get people who have their eyes closed. And I've talked to so many people lately. I just talked to somebody last week who started talking to me about Trump and the tariffs and how bad it is and how he's ruined our country. And I went, are you watching CNN? No, I watch a very reliable. I said, well, who is it? And he didn't want to tell me. CBC. Oh, CBC.
Kamala Harris.
The state-run TV station.
Yeah.
And I said, we pay them $1.4 billion a year.
Yes,
he goes, no, we don't. It's $300 million. I checked it out. He said, well, you didn't check it right. So I came back. Here's where it is. Somewhere it got broke. I came back right off the site of CBC. $1.4 billion, and they want another $1 billion. I don't believe that. That's fake news. I'm going, okay. I can't.
It's just insanity. It's insanity. And you see it all the time. Now all this stuff is coming out about COVID, the vaccinations being harmful. They've killed more people than they saved, which they didn't save very many.
Which we all knew. And how come you're still driving by pharmacies in Niagara Falls, which I did yesterday, saying, get your flu and COVID vaccination. Any vaccination that had 50 deaths was pulled from the market 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Pulled.
Sure.
How many have been, I know people have been vaccinated, injured, and in my family as well. And that's a fact.
Yeah, you just got to pray for everybody who got the vaccination, hoping that they got the placebo or whatever the heck they were giving out.
Or their bodies are strong enough to fight it off.
Yeah, fight it off, because there's a lot of young people. I see 55, 60 just dying.
Well, did you recall when I'm talking about like 20-year-olds and 15-year-olds and 13-year-olds have been dying in the last little while, all over the place.
Yeah.
And it's becoming news. I don't know why it's becoming news, because they're trying to hide that stuff. But do you remember a couple of years ago? Think about this. Remember when they said it was normal for young kids in public school to have strokes And heart attacks?
Yeah, they said that.
I mean,
I remember.
I don't remember in my entire life ever, during school, my kids' school, ever anybody having a stroke or a heart attack when they're 7, 8, 9, 10 years old.
Yeah, I don't even remember. I don't remember autism. I don't remember peanut or any allergies.
Nope. You're
Nothing. Right. Now, all of a sudden, 1 in 10 kids or 1 in 20 kids are autistic. We saw Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Trump talking about Tylenol for pregnant women. And, these left-wing whack jobs, they say that if Trump's saying it, I'm not going to do it. And they're swallowing bottles of Tylenol to prove him wrong.
Killing themselves.
Yeah, they're nuts.
Just like he was telling them to take bleach when he was telling them to take hydroxychloroquine because it has chlor in it. Chlorine.
But the thing that gets me is that, they think Trump did the research. These people are so mental. They think Trump did the research. I mean, meanwhile, it's the people at Harvard and Johns Hopkins universities. These are the people that came up with this. It wasn't Trump, and it wasn't Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and it wasn't Dr. Oz. It was the people who do this for a living every day. They're considered experts in the world who told Trump about this. Trump didn't make it up.
So how about, anyways, when it says on there, take 6 pills a day and that's all. How about just common sense? Oh, it's not so common. I forget. How about just some kind of sense where you go, I shouldn't swallow a bottle.
No, that
might hurt my baby.
And if somebody says to you, I mean, they said this about drinking. Like when we were kids, everybody drank. I mean, I don't think any pregnant woman didn't drink. My mother didn't drink at all, basically, so I don't think she drank.
Yeah, my mom didn't either.
Although some people might accuse her of with me. But
no, I think you just fell on your head.
That could be too. But I would say that's more likely that you did because you're a Boston Bruins fan. Yeah.
Listen, if you're a true Niagara Falls person, you have to be a Bruins fan. Let's set that straight because the Flyers were here. Derek Sanderson was here. Sean Feld was here. So I don't know who is the radical here.
I can understand people fell for that.
It was a ploy.
But we digress.
Yes, we do.
But yeah, so, like they say, they think Trump made this, he was the one who did the research or something. I remember Kamala Harris saying, if Trump says to take that vaccination, I'm not taking it. Remember she said that?
I couldn't believe it. Well, she's so intelligent.
I'm not taking anything that Trump says is good. Well, Trump said it's bad. Now she's like this.
Yeah. I just can't believe, seriously and honestly, that woman actually ran for president. I can't. How could you take that seriously? I don't care who you are.
Total nincompoop. But that's why she's gone. And that's why she got landslided, because she is a total nincompoop. Hey, even better, AOC and Bernie Sanders on one stage I was watching. You should hear that conversation. So speaking of that, we're going to get to No Kings. Have you heard about this?
No.
Well, I'm going to tell you about it in a second. But I got to get to my third sponsor, Hamill Machine Company. We always talk about Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue and Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, but there's another aspect to Niagara Falls that we can't forget, and that's big industry. We love our small business people, and we support them all we can, but there's some big industries in Niagara Falls, and when they come to any city, they want to know there's a machine shop there to help them if they break down, because you know what they say, Pete, time is
money.
That's right. When you're broke down, and you're not producing, you're losing money every second your machine's down. That's where Hamill Machine Company comes in. They have the personnel, they have the staff, they have the equipment, water jet cutters, 3D printers. They can repair any machine, but they just don't want to repair it. They look at it and see if they can make it better. Why? More production means more
money.
And that's what it's all about. Bottom line revenue. And they innovate these new machines for the food industry, for the wine industry, for the agricultural product industry. And these parts that they've put together, are shipped all over the world now because they help these businesses make more money, bottom line revenue. That's what they do at Hamill Machine Company. They have the expertise, they have the engineers, they have the designers, they have the fabricators. You need a set of gates for your backyard? They can design and fabricate them for you. You need your snowblower fixed because you spun a pin or
Shear
whatever,
pin?
a key, a shear pin. Guess what? They can fix it, cut a new channel, do whatever they need to do to get you back up and running. They haven't forgotten about us little guys who need help all the time with equipment around our house. They deal with the city, they deal with the region. Hamill Machine Company, hamillmachine.ca. Go there, see the wonderful things that they do. It'll blow your mind. And don't forget, support our sponsors because they support the city, they support the show, and they're just good, solid corporations and people in the city of Niagara Falls. Tell them, Paul, from your city, your voice, and Pete Dichter from the Big Show
with Pete and Ray.
Send them.
Yeah. No, you really do they are good people. All your sponsors really are, and I can say that.
Yeah, they are. Confidence. Bob's a great guy. Yeah. No King's March tomorrow. So these are these Antifa terrorist supported, George Soros funded people. They're going to be marching tomorrow because they think Trump wants to be king.
Oh.
So they're saying no kings. It's a march all across America, millions and millions of people. And what they really want is to start a civil war in the United States and overthrow Trump. That's what they're looking for.
Oh, I agree with that.
And you've got AOC, Bernie Sanders, Ilhan Omar, Rashid Tlaib, all these left-wing radical lunatics.
Mamdani, is he going to?
Yep, Mamdani, he's going to be there, probably in New York City, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And they're getting together tomorrow for a big march. It's going to be wild to see what happens with this. Every big city in the United States, most of them are going to get out of hand in the democratically run cities like Chicago, Philadelphia, LA, Seattle, Portland, and any other city. You probably won't see any of it in Florida because they don't put up with that.
No, they don't.
Right?
So it's time for martial law. They're begging for martial law.
Yeah, and you know what they want to do? They really are looking for Trump to have to lay down the Insurrection Act of 1807 to control it all and get the National Guard and military in there. And Trump is trying not to, but they're going to force his hand. And when he does, they're going to march in and clean these idiots out.
Well, they say Trump is a 5D chess player, and people laugh. No, he has. Look at his cognition. Look at this. Look how old he is. He's proven time and time again. He's ahead of the game. He's proven it time and time again, no matter what you think or what you think he's done to Canada. He is ahead of the curve.
I don't know what it's going to take for these left-wing wackos to understand Trump.
Yeah.
They don't get it. This guy never says or does anything that doesn't have a reason behind it. Everything he says, everything he does has a reason. And that's why you see peace in the Middle East and a ceasefire right now.
Yeah.
Everything he does. He went into Iran, wiped out their nuclear programs. That was not just for Iran. That was a message to the world. We're not effing around here.
Exactly. And you know what? Iran knows now. Remember, there's going to be big retaliation. None.
Nothing.
And how could he do this? Because they would have blown us all up.
Yeah. And when you take out the snake's head, when you cut the snake's head off, that means Hezbollah and Hamas and the Houthis and anybody in Syria, the Taliban.
Yep.
This is a message. And that's why when you do something like that, a month later, you got peace.
Yeah.
Like this Trump does stuff for a reason. When he speaks, you have to listen to what he's saying. A lot of times the message is not for the Americans.
Or the Canadians. He's talking directly to them or the crazy radical left. Look at the guys that got wiped out in the motorboat. From Mexico.
He takes about 6 of them out at this point in time.
Just to make a point.
Yeah.
He didn't take out a pile. He took out 6 key who are going, whoa, they're watching every move we make, right? Every move we make. Look at Soleimani in his first time around as president. Boom. God.
He just flew a couple of B-52s down the coast of Mexico and around to Venezuela, just doing a circle, right? B-52 bombers.
Yeah.
And they were visible. Let me put it that way. there's a message there.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, like, people just don't get Trump. They really don't, especially Canadians. They have TDS so bad, Trump derangement syndrome. They don't understand. But
if we shut the borders here in Canada, put tariffs up, do you think if we actually mined our own raw materials, used our own oil, took the trade barriers down between our provinces, do you think we'd have a glorious, wonderful country? Yeah, we would.
Yeah,
we would. And then we'd be able to have fair trade with the U.S. going, well, we need you, but we don't. And they can say, well, we need you, but we don't. But now we all sit at a level playing ground. We don't sit at a level playing ground. And we've done so many things to dishearten the United States. We've put tariffs on them. They've said nothing. And again, I'm going to go back to the Chinese soldiers running around in Northern Ontario, 6,000 or 10,000 troops, and over in BC. What do you think Americans and people like Trump who are patriots are going to say? Why do you have 10,000 Chinese troops running around training in Northern Ontario? These are our enemies. They're Canadian enemies too. They're not our friends, or are they? Maybe we don't know they are. And because they needed to train in the cold weather, which Trudeau said several months after, because he had to come up with some story. So you got to look at Canada and go, oh, we're not these sweet little innocent, quiet people with our elbows up in the air and our butts open. So please.
Well, if they keep up with this anti Trump and anti Palestine and everything else, all this anti-Jewish stuff. I mean, eventually, the United States is just going to call them a terrorist group eventually, and that'll be that, right? Okay, yeah. We got a ding here.
All right, can't wait.
Oh, now this is interesting. It says, looks like Border Services Office, correctional officers, etc., are getting 25 years in out pension. Sounds like a sweet deal. Is that in the United States? That's by at Penny Brookify. Is that in the United States, or are you talking about Canada? So maybe she can just
qualify that.
Yeah, qualify that one. Because if it's in the States, it makes sense, because now there's a shutdown there. Schumer shutdown's going on because Schumer and his gang want to give full medical coverage to millions
of illegal immigrants.
Yeah.
And you don't have it for your own people.
Yeah, and it's $1.5 trillion that's added to the bill. And they're saying, no, we're not going to approve that. And they shut it down for that. So anything that's going on with the federal employees,
I'm sure there was research on how you can make rats, change their transgender, their gender, whatever. They can come back and make them into frogs.
Well, that's Doge, getting rid of inefficiencies. 100,000 people have quit in the government now. They resigned in that. Yeah, so he's draining the swamp.
How do you look at what Trump's doing as far as finding things? I don't care what you think of Doge. Elon. They've gone in and found out that money is being siphoned all over the place. And I used to think the Soroses of the world, all these people were funded by themselves because they were, multi-billionaires. No, they were using the taxpayer money of this country, Canada, and of the United States, and funneling through different channels to them so they could use it for what they're doing against us, to break down the last stand of democracy in the world, the last true stance of democracy.
Yeah, that's it. United States.
Yeah. And Canada was, although we're
almost out.
We're in a bad place.
Yeah, we're almost out. So, not only are they going to force them to declare the Insurrection Act if they get too out of hand. Now, the terrorist group's marching to overthrow Trump tomorrow. Word is that the cartel gangs in Chicago and other cities have placed bounties on the heads of ICE and Custom Border Patrol agents. They advertise $2,000 for intel on where they live, so they can release it on the internet and dox them. $5,000 to $10,000 for kidnapping them, or laying non-lethal beatings on them, or $50,000 for assassination of high-ranking ICE or Customs and Border Patrol agents. This is what's going on in the United States and in Chicago particularly. So,
how did we get to that state?
This is outrageous.
Yeah, how do you get to that state?
Because the cartels have taken over Chicago.
Because you have governments in the past, possibly the Biden regime, that have sold out their country for money. Obama sold out the country for money. The Clintons sold out their country, continue to do so for money. I love, when people talk about paying taxes and Trump paying taxes, and you look at the Clinton and the Clinton Foundation, and do you realize that everything they ever did, we paid $900,000 in taxes, but you missed millions because everything they ran was through the Clinton Foundation. These people are not patriots. They don't care about you. Just like the Carney of the world couldn't care less about the average Canadian. Because if he did, he wouldn't be shipping billions of dollars off to the Ukraine to be siphoned around the world to everybody who needs a little piece of that pie, right? And take care of seniors, take care of people on the streets, take care of healthcare, which is an absolute total disaster mess. And building some new hospital isn't going to change it here in Niagara Falls.
It's unbelievable what's going on right now in the United States of America. And Trump is going to settle it all. I mean, they don't know what they're messing with when they're messing with Trump, because this isn't your regular Joe Biden presidents, your Obama,
your Clinton.
This
your
guy
Bush.
is serious. He's not messing around with them.
And speaking of Reagan did talk about a world becoming like this if we didn't watch.
Yeah,
what's going on. He did talk about that many, many times. He saw about the writing on the wall. He basically talked about the swamp.
He basically said that, freedom is only one generation away from being lost.
So true.
If we let it go. So last thing I want to talk about, just for 5 minutes here, we're going to run over a little bit, but that's all right. Gary Wilkins will be happy.
Hey, Gary.
Did you watch the New York City mayoral debate last night?
No.
It was something. You should watch it. Oh, this came from Carnage. Too bad I'm not a border services officer. So it's in Canada.
Wow. That's amazing. That's crazy.
Yeah, 25 years and out, and they're getting a full pension and everything. We got lots of money in Canada. It doesn't matter.
25 years and out.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
You start when you're 20, 45, you're retired with a full pension and everything.
That's insane. Well, that's insane.
Who's paying for that?
Yeah, we are. And actually, the next generations are paying for it. We are handing our kids and grandchildren such a disastrous mess. And after they drain everybody's money in the States and stuff, there'll be nothing left.
No.
Zero.
They're going to decimate it. Yeah. We're going to have no. Well, that's what he's here to liquidate, to break us. We're broke.
Believe it. Just look at it. Just analyze it. Just use your common sense if you have any, and realize that they are selling this country out.
They are. I mean, you could say that he's just stupid.
He's not.
But this is, or he just can't get the deal done, or blame it on Trump, or any excuse you want. But the bottom line is,
don't become a billionaire being stupid.
This is by design.
100%
design. This is by design.
Yeah, he's not a stupid man.
Let's see. Did I get another message here? No. Okay. Now I want to get to this New York City mayor debate last night. It was fantastic. It was a great debate. Andrew Cuomo, who's running as an independent, because the communist Zoran Mamdani beat him, right, in the general who's going to lead the Democratic Party. And then we have Curtis Lewa, who, of course, founded and ran the Guardian Angels and still does as the Republican candidate. And it was a joke. This Mamdani guy, he offered New York City residents everything for free. You have to pay for anything.
Really?
Everything's free. Bus rides, everything's free.
Groceries?
A communist socialist, right? And groceries too. He's going to take over groceries.
The only thing you trade over is your freedom. That's it.
Now, he doesn't have a plan how he's going to pay for everything, of course. So he figures he's going to tax the rich. So what does that mean?
Who won't be in New York anymore?
There won't be any rich in New York to tax. That's the way it goes.
Just like people live in Canada.
Like, the guy's a big liar. He's like AOC. And Cuomo did a good job calling him out every time. But Cuomo's got his own issues. I mean, the guy had 13 sexual assault charges against him. And he was involved in that big thing when seniors were dying with COVID. Yeah. He put them back in the homes when he shouldn't have, and everything else.
Yeah, I don't care for him.
So when Mamdani was asked who he thought was the greatest politician in the modern age, take a guess who he said he liked the best.
Castro.
No. Bernie Sanders.
Oh!
The ultimate communist. This guy used to march in communist marches.
I thought he was picking Castro like Trudeau.
So, yeah, well, yeah, I'm surprised he didn't, to be honest with you.
I'm sure he's there
somewhere. So you know where he stands, right? It's going to be a disaster in New York City if this guy wins, and he's got a double-digit lead on everybody.
If you believe that.
If you believe that.
They wipe out New York City. Companies are gone out of there. Head offices are gone out of there. Financial institutions are gone out of there. You can't stay there with that guy. So what does it become? Mad Max?
Yeah. Well, you know,
Mad Max.
Mad Max. But, you know, Letitia James gushed over him, ringing endorsement. That tells you a little bit more about him. And AOC and Bernie Sanders, they just love this guy. He's going to be the best thing for New York City.
Bernie and the Rat.
Bernie and the Rats. So, Danny has a big problem because he's hostile against Jews. So that doesn't work well with the Jewish population of New York City, and there's a lot there.
Your best candidate is Shliwa.
Yeah. Shliwa's the best. He's dealt with crime in New York City for 45 years, most of his life. Founder of the Guardian Angels, knows the city and people better than anyone else on that stage. He would be the best mayor for the city. His idols were Rudy Giuliani, right, and Ronald Reagan.
There you go.
Right, and
two of the best.
And you thought one of the best mayors was Fiorella LaGuardia, of course. Who everybody said that.
Yep. Who the airport's named after.
Yeah, who the airport's named after.
Well, of course, everybody loved Rudy until he backed Trump.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody loved Rudy. Oh, Rudy Giuliani was a good mayor. He got crime down to zero, wiped out the mob using RICO. So there you go. That was a great debate last night. If you go online and watch it, you can watch it. So really, it was a really, really good debate. I'm watching the debate here and the Habs game there. And I don't know if you saw the Habs game.
No, I didn't.
Oh, what a game.
I didn't have time for anything else.
Unbelievable game. Yeah, they ended up winning 3-2 in overtime. Caulfield getting a goal with 20 seconds left to tie the game. And then he got the goal with 2 seconds left in overtime to win the game. So,
what about this?
What about that? Patriots.
Top of the division.
Trump,
yeah. Top of the division.
They're the Patriots.
Everybody laughed. My buddies laughed. As a matter of fact, 2 weeks ago, my buddy goes, Patriots? He's a Bill, diehard Bill. Both of them are diehard Bill, these two guys, right? And I said, hey, don't speak. Watch what you say. It's like, Habs fans telling you're going to win the cup every year. And I said, look out. And so what did we do? We beat the Bills. That was a great game. I was there. And let me tell you something about Bills fans. They were amazing. They really were.
Class acts.
They honest to God, we were tailgating. Fantastic. Sharing drinks, sharing food. In there, they were great. Yeah, they give you a little rasp. But all joking aside. And when they lost, everybody's head was down. But they were all, hey, good game. Congratulations. It was, honestly, it was fantastic. I got the utmost respect. And it was a good game for the second half. First half sucked.
I don't watch football, so I watch debates.
Yeah,
and I watch news stories. And the only thing I watch in sports is Montreal Canadiens.
By the way, on our show today, 3:00.
Yeah, what's going on? Tell us about your show.
Well, we have Dave McMahon, dog trainer extraordinaire.
Oh yeah, he's whacked.
Yeah, but guess what? I like what he's talking about today on our show.
Bring him some tequila. He'll be the happiest guy you ever met.
You're right. He's talking about what some dog owners do to their dogs. It's disgusting, which is actually, there's a whole pile of things. I'll give you one example. Like,
okay.
You ever drive around town and see people with their dogs hanging out the window while they're driving?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just like one, but there's a whole pile.
That's dumb.
Yeah, it is dumb.
That's really, and the retractable leads.
There you go. So there's another one. And we talk about that today on the show. And also Burt Ward is back on the show.
Oh, it's dog food. Yeah.
Yeah. And the original, he's going to talk a little bit about the Batman TV series.
Yeah, right on.
So
should be a good show.
Big show with Pete Ray.
Yeah, should be a good show.
Saga 960.
And Dave McMahon's wackier than hell.
He is, but this is a fun part of the show, first half of the show.
He knows more about dogs than a dog knows about dogs.
It's true.
He's really good, but he's
he's one of those.
He's out there.
Yeah,
he's out there.
But he has fun.
He's a great guy, though.
Yeah, he is.
Great guy, Dave. I've known him for years and years and training. Yeah, I took my dog there, and I'll tell you.
Oh, he's the best.
He knows what he's doing.
And guess what he said? And he's right. less than 1% of dogs are actually bad behavior. It's the owners.
It's the owners. Oh, when he trains the dog, he's training the owner.
Yeah.
It's not
Exactly.
the dog.
Exactly.
The dog's fine. All you got to know is how to deal with it.
Yeah.
So he's training you how to deal with the dog. And the dog's just sitting there. And he's waiting for you to tell him what to do, the dog. You're the alpha male, not the dog.
Dogs are energy readers. That's what they do. They read energy amongst themselves, and they read energy off of humans.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
We got to get out of
congratulations on 600, my friend.
Yes,
I love it.
There you go. Thank you very much. And let's hope I'm here to make it to 700, which should be in about another 200 days.
700, because I love the number 7. It's a God number. So we're going to have a big celebration for 700.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, 700, we're going to have a celebration. Maybe we'll bring a pizza.
Yeah, well,
from Pete's Pizza.
Undoubtedly, we'll bring in that.
We'll do a pizza toast in here. Anyway, my name is Paul Calamere. This is Pete Dichter. You're looking at and listening to Your City, Your Voice on 4680Q Radio and on YouTube at about 3 o'clock. I drop the video, Rumble, X, and also Truth Social. So if you're on any of those platforms, you can see the show. Tune in. Please support our sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, and Hamel Machine Company. God bless you all.
God bless
Have a great weekend. And we'll be back on Monday at noon. Well, Pete won't be. He's going to be on a plane to Naples, Florida. Yeah. But I'll be back at
I'll come back on the show, though, from Florida. I will.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Text in.
Yeah. I got the number now.
Yeah, now you got the number. And don't forget, promises made, promises kept. Watch out for that No Kings rally tomorrow and see how they're going to start a big problem tomorrow. Anyway, take care, everybody. Have a great weekend. Love y'all.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.